All-you-can-eat buffet workers, what are your horror stories? Not a horror story. Just funny. I worked at Wendy's when they had salad bars. You could get a single serving bowl. They used to serve eat-in chili in styrofoam bowls, and the large doubled as a chili bowl. Or, all-you-can-eat platters. The taco salad bottom plate. On a slow afternoon, this guy came in and got a single serving bowl. After a few minutes, our manager motioned to me and the sandwich guy to discreetly take a look at the salad he was making. The guy had filled the bowl with salad, then made a ring of overlapping cucumber slices to extend the lip of the bowl upwards. He filled that with salad, then added another ring. It took several minutes to build this thing, but by the time he'd finished, he had a tower of salad well over a foot tall. WTH, multiple rings of cucumber slices containing it. That salad was an engineering marvel. He carefully carried it back to his table, sat down, then looked up guiltily as our manager walked out to "Hi, monsieur." The manager handed him his free item coupon, and said, "That is the most impressive salad I have ever seen. Your next one is on me. Picked up some fish and chips recently. Saw they had all-you-can-eat on Wednesdays. So I asked, what is the most that someone? 18 pieces of fish and 3 plates." She held up this huge platter of fries every single Wednesday. "So he eats that exact order every week?" Quote, "Yes. And he goes to a different all-you-can-eat every day of the week. He got banned from the Chinese place down the road. That's kind of sad. Obviously an eating addiction." College friend worked at a Chinese buffet. He said they caught a regular dipping his pizza in the wonton soup bowl, like, in the queue and not at his table, and eating it. Bite, dip, bite, dip, bite, dip. After the 4th time in a month he did it, management finally kicked him out. Like he brought pizza into the buffet, or this was a Chinese place that also does pizza? Every Chinese buffet has one terrible pepperoni pizza for the picky eater kids, with exactly 1 piece of pepperoni on each slice, in accordance with international Chinese buffet law. Not an employee, but once I saw someone using their shirt as a bag and filled it with barbecue chicken wings. You promised me you wouldn't tell anyone. You mean they tucked in their shirt and dumped 50 wings down the neck hole? At one point I worked for a pizza place that used to have a day buffet that I would make pizzas for. One time 2 huge dudes come in the moment we opened for the buffet. The manager on duty dropped the first 2 pizzas down on the buffet, turned to grab the next 2, turned back and both pizzas were gone. A few minutes later both dudes walk back up and each take an entire pizza again and walk back to continue eating. They proceeded to do this over and over, grabbing an entire pizza each for themselves for the entire 3 hours we were offering the buffet. Was one hell of a day. Edit. With all the replies, haha. Big as in morbidly obese and Pizza Hut 2011 with regular dough. Not thin. Medium pizzas. 12 inches, roughly 30 centimeters diameter. Sized pizzas. Dominance #ESTABLISHED. I had a coworker that briefly managed a Ryan's buffet. He said that it was fairly common for people to gorge themselves, then purge in the restroom and start eating again so that they could get their money's worth. Leave it to Ryan's buffet, where the quantity is the goal and 8-year-old kids are 6'0" with mustaches. When you talk about something gross at a buffet, Ryan's is always there to say asterisk hold my beer, asterisk. They legit just have ham sitting in boiled water. Monsieur hot ham water. So watery, and yet there's a smack of ham in it. I worked at a Ruby Tuesday in Center City, Philly. First floor of the Liberty Place building. I had a couple that would come in about twice a week that requested me. They would gorge themselves at the salad bar for about an hour. Ask for large glasses of water with no ice. Then both would take the water into the bathroom. Monsieur, they would come out a few minutes later with empty glasses. Ask for the check and leave. I finally put it together that they were bulimic after I walked in the women's bathroom and it smelled like vomit. Very polite folks and tipped well though. That's so sad. Hopefully they recovered from their bulimia. There was a fairly expensive restaurant in Dallas in the 80s called Southern Kitchen. About $25 per person back then with food served to the table. Really good stuff. They were famous for cinnamon rolls. The owner said he'd seen many women ruin expensive purses hiding those rolls. Man, I miss that place. That's about $60 in today's dollars. For anybody who cares. Edit. Thanks for the gold. My subscription just ran out yesterday. D. Obligatory, not a buffet worker. Just a witness. We were waiting in line for the soft serve machine at Golden Corral. The woman in front of us gets up to the machine and awkwardly jerks the handle around in an attempt to get at the sweet ice cream within. She's pushing, pulling, twisting, doing literally everything but turning it to the right, which would have dispensed the ice cream. She's really perplexed by this. So she takes the next logical step, of course, which is to wrap her lips around the spout, form a seal on it with her mouth and start trying to suck it right out of the tap. One of the workers sees this and looks on in disgust before he unplugs the machine. On the way out, we see that he put an out-of-order sign on it. So thankfully they didn't keep serving it after that whole incident. Well, if you can't jerk it, then suck it. Pickle boy. There was this man who used to come into our restaurant who clearly wasn't all there in the head. He was functional but very weird. As the months progressed, he got way weirder. He started wearing women's underwear over his clothes, even going so far as to stuff his bra. Picture a 6 feet 2 inches 250 pounds dude with a baby face wearing silky underpants and a lace bra over ratty jeans and a stained Hawaiian shirt. That's our guy. He went from being able to hold a sort of normal conversation to just spouting conspiracy theory. Word salad. But the weirdest thing was his change of eating habits. He used to eat a variety of our soup, salad, baked potato options from our buffet. But as his mental health deteriorated, so did his desire for variety, I guess. By the time his weirdness devolved to aggression and we had to 86 him, he was coming in for two things: pickles and ranch dressing. He'd pile as many pickle slices as he could onto his plate, then put so much ranch on them the dressing and pickle juice would be running all over the tray. He'd eat it all, and his face would be covered in ranch and pickle bits. Then he'd drink water straight from the pitcher he inevitably stole from the wait station, sliming it with pickle ranch slobber. Never a dull moment with that dude around. Pickle boy, wherever you are today, I really hope you got the help you so desperately needed, but I was not sorry to see you go. ETA. For those who are asking about the term 86, on this case it means we kicked him out permanently. Sounds like an unfortunate case where someone went off their meds, and you got to witness the deterioration. I was once at an old country buffet, waiting patiently to get some mac and cheese. The kid in front of me plied his plate high, and then started tapping the serving spoon to get all of the chessy goodness free from the confines of the spoon. Once he was satisfied with his handiwork, he licked the spoon clean. I didn't have any mac and cheese, and haven't been back since. What an asshole child. Me personally, I fucking love me some mac and cheese. Hands would have been thrown if it were me. Wouldn't actually punch a kid, but man, I'd be pissed LMAO. My mom instincts would have kicked in and I'd have grabbed the spoon from him and given him a talking to. Probably would have gotten yelled at by his real mom for presuming to tell her kid what not to do. Because there is no way a kid can end up with that poor a behavior if their parents are reasonable people. Went as a customer to a Golden Corral. I am walking to the chocolate fountain and three little girls step in front of me, and all three of them just go hands deep in the fountain. The family was the first table by the fountain and all they did was laugh about how cute it was. Employees turned it off immediately. At least they turned it off, and I'm assuming didn't let anyone eat it anymore. For real. That could have been way worse if the employees had just laughed along with the parents. Ah, 3 girls contaminating the chocolate fountain. How cute. I managed a buffet in a casino in Reno for a few months. Had this family come in. Mom, Dad, 2 little kids. I get called over to the table because the mom had thrown up on her plate table and wanted us to take it away and clean it up. I asked if she was okay, and she said she always throws up when she eats cheese. She had gotten herself an enchilada. It was Mexican theme night. WTF, lady. Enchiladas pretty much always have cheese. I told her I would have to call janitorial because none of my staff was trained to handle biohazards. She didn't understand why I couldn't just take it. Janitorial came in and couldn't clean up because she refused to move from the table. So janitorial left. She calls me back over and starts yelling at me. Dad starts yelling too. Apparently, she wanted to keep eating after throwing up, which I thought was really gross. I had them sit at another table so they could all keep eating. Janitorial came back and cleaned the other table. Finally they go to leave and decide to make a huge scene in front of the whole restaurant and demand their money back. I refuse. Dad gets in my face and starts shouting that I'm just a racist white bitch and his wife makes loads more money than I do. I call security and they storm out, pulling pictures off the wall and shattering them on the floor. And Dad also picked up a vase and broke it. The 2 kids are running around and banging on the walls. Security finally shows up after they ran off. I have to do a report, and they were put on the 86 list. I fucking hate people. May I ask what's an 86 list? Not allowed to come back to the casino, resort. I got a name from their credit card receipt, and surveillance got pictures of their faces. If they came back, security would detain them. Monsieur might be charged for damages from the previous encounter. Security could also call the police. I never saw them again, though. I worked as a server at a Chinese buffet and 4 things came to mind instantly. 1. A middle-aged woman puked on her table and blamed it on giving herself the wrong insulin dose. The 4 mountains of food she destroyed probably contributed too. Profusely apologized and tipped me $1. 2. I tried to pick up a dirty plate off a table that had a big pool of hibachi sauce grease on it. The customer stopped me and said, "That's the best part." Then proceeded to drink the sauce like it was the milk after a bowl of cereal. 3. A young mother complained to me because the crab meat and cheese that we serve on the buffet made her child sick and they threw up. Her child was an infant, not even a year-old. I'm no child care expert, but baked artificial crab meat and mozzarella can't be good for a baby. 4. The restaurant was raided by ICE one morning shortly before opening. The entire back of the house and one of our managers were deported. Back of the house was 1/2 Chinese and 1/2 Latin American. So, did y'all close for the day when I swept through? 4 days. Not an employee, but I was standing behind a woman at Hometown Buffet. She was getting some lasagna or something. Basically a really cheesy pasta that when you lift the serving utensil, a lot of cheese hangs on. I witnessed her lift her pasta, twirl all the excess cheese that was connected around her index finger. And there was a lot. Clip it off with her thumbnail, and then fling it back into the pasta. I knew I shouldn't have been at Hometown Buffet in the first place. But this solidified my stance to never go back. When I read, "and then fling it back into the pasta," IGASPED edit, oh wow, at my first silver. Not an employee, but our local Golden Corral shut down because the cooks were too busy fucking the underage servers and selling heroin. Not an answer I was expecting. I'll allow it. Buffet where I live got shut down for serving coyote meat and labeling it as other meats. A place near me got busted last year for trapping seagulls on the roof and passing it off as chicken. No shit, a place my family used to frequent just got busted earlier this year for half-caged pigeons in the basement. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.